Hi everyone, it's Mickey from GameMaker, and in this video I wanted to do a product review on this extension called Shader Replace Simple for GameMaker. What this allows me to do, and this is the standalone demo here, is we can recompile shaders on the fly. So if we're playing around with shaders, we can easily have them switch in our game without having to recompile everything. So in the demo here, if I click, it will ask for a file. And once I hit open, you can see that the shader is automatically recompiled. So to me, that really sparked my interest. And then reading into it, what this extension is for is primarily used for GMLive. So you can see that I did buy this extension. I bought it 13 hours ago, and I already had purchased GMLive. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at combining them together and see how everything works. Let's roll the intro and start up a blank project. So I have a blank project here. I've already loaded in GMLive and I haven't really done anything but really drag the object into the room here. And this is the object that comes with the plugin. I have a sprite, which is just my logo. And then I have an object, which has a create event, and then the draw event. And this is the default setup for GMLive here. So what I want to do is I want to go to Tools, import a local package, and I want to import the shader replace simple. Now I'm going to import the extension here and just say import. And now that is all done. So pretty much the setup is already completed for us. We already have the live call. So what we need to do is just go ahead and start fooling around with things. So in order to get this to work, from what I've been reading in the documentation, we have to create a shader first. So let's go ahead and call this one SH Grayscale. Make sure I copy that. And in the object that we're going to be using in the create event, we have to tell GMLive that we're going to set a shader to be reloaded automatically. So we'll say shader underscore set live and set the shader name to true. Now in the draw event, this is going to be some normal shader code. So all I have to do is say shader set, insert the shader, and I want to draw the sprite. So I'll say draw sprite, and I will use whatever is assigned to this object. So I'll say sprite index and whatever frame we are on. So that's image number at the X and Y position of this object. And then we just need to do a shader reset. Now, I think, let's see, if I go to my room, I have a gray background. Let's make it a different color here. Let's choose something a little more purple for now. All right, that'll be easier to see. Now, if I run my game, and I actually forgot to run the server here, so this might need to be recompiled, but let's try and run the server. And you can see, nice, we've already connected here, and it's connected because we are running this particular project. Now, the one line that I want to point out is this updated SH Grayscale. So that is our shader here. So right now, GMLive is listening for any updates to that shader. So I'm going to just minimize this for a little bit, and I'm going to pull this guy over to the side and this guy over to this side. So I'm going to close everything, and I'm going to open up my shader. I'm going to maximize it and just work with what I have here. So what this actually allows us to do is it allows us to recompile the shader on the fly, like I said, without having to wait for any compile times. So let's pretend my game was running and I was somewhere in the forest and I was trying to make, the leaves fall down or whatever. And really, there's no visual way to get shaders working nicely in GameMaker Studio yet, unlike Godot or Unity has the shader graph. But what this allows us to do is we can fool around with the shader while our game is running, so we don't have to make it all the way back to that particular part in our project. So let's say, just to show this, let's say I make the GL frag color pure white. So I'll set everything to a vector 4 of white, which is red, green, and blue, and then the alpha full 100%. You can see that it did indeed set our sprite to 100% white, and that's without recompiling. So what this allows me to do is I can definitely play around. I can say new color equals whatever the base is going to be here. So whatever GameMaker had. And if I were to just set the GL frag color to new color, we should see everything return back to normal. Now, the other cool thing about this is, let's say I am doing something and I mess up and I hit save and my shader isn't reloading. What it will do is in the console, the error code is not that great, but it kind of tells me what is going on here. So I have a syntax error, so I can come back and fix that. Once I hit save, everything has been reloaded. So this is a grayscale shader. So what I want to do is turn this image into something grayscale. So what I have to do is I have to set the new color to be equal to the red, green, and blue values summed together divided by 3. So that's some simple math. We could say new color equals the red, the green, and the blue values all together. So we're going to sum them up, and then we're going to divide them by how many we have, so that it's divided by 3. And what I want to do is I want to repeat this number 3 times. So I don't want to have to say this, comma, that. I want to repeat this 3 times so I can make this a vector 3. As long as I pass it in like that, it will be repeated 3 times. And of course, a color is a vector 4. So that means we need the alpha. So I could say vector 4, set the alpha to whatever the current alpha is, and call it a day. Now you can see I hit save and automatically it turns into something that is a grayscale. So again, to me, this is very powerful. And let's see what I bought everything at again. So this was $9.95 for the shader replace simple. And then you're looking at $29.95 for the main extension itself. And you can watch a product review on that one too. But for me, just starting out with shaders and working on shaders and figuring everything out, this is a lifesaver, and I don't have to wait for any kind of game to reload or make it into a certain spot. But anyway, yeah, you could see it really works. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this purchase. Hopefully you are too if you buy it.